Coach O's pre-algebra. Today we're going to talk about writing equations given 2 points. Now just a little bit of a review. What 2 things do you need to write an equation of a graph? To write the equation of a graph that you see that's in a linear equation, a linear graph. You need the slope and you need the y-intercept. Sometimes you can simply look at the graph, find the slope and find the y-intercept and plug it into what formula? Slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So perfect. But now what happens, you have enough information now that you should be able to find the slope. Remember we've talked about this. If I give you 2 points, you should be able to find the slope. So if I say, here's 2 points, but I want you to find the equation of the line without a graph, here's the 2 points, show me how to find the equation of the line when I only give you 2 points. Well, you take what you know to find out what you don't know. The 2 things that you need are the slope and the y-intercept. Well, if I give you 2 points, how do you find the slope? Using slope formula. Point slope formula. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So we're going to write that down. X sub 2 minus x sub 1, because you have to show me your work and your steps. Now, on the last quiz, or the test before break, a lot of you messed up on this because you didn't label your points. Remember, this is the first point, so x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. It doesn't matter how you label them. This could be point 1, that could be point 2. It's up to you. So now I'm going to substitute. I'm going to say 2 minus 4 over, and I'm going to go, 3 minus 6. And I get negative 2 over negative 3, which is 2/3. So now I found my slope. Slope is 2/3, because a negative over a negative, that cancels, and we get a positive 2/3 slope. So the line is rising. But now we need the b. So how would we, what would we use to find the b? Well, think. We would use slope-intercept formula. Y equals mx plus b. There are 4 unknowns here, the y, the m, the x, and the b. But we know 3 of them. We know the slope. The slope is 2/3. We know what x and y are because we have 2 points to pick from. Which point do you want to use? Do you want to use the point 64 or the point 32? They both are on the line that we're trying to write an equation for, of the graph of the line that we're trying to write an equation for. So I'm going to pick the easier one, the point 32. So this is x and this is y. I'm going to use the slope-intercept form, and I'm just going to use the substitution property of equality to solve for b. I don't know b. So y is 2, m is 2/3, x is what? 3, that's convenient, plus b. So now I do the math. 2/3 times 3. Well, remember, this is 3 over 1, so the 3's cancel. Or you get 6 over 3, which is what? 2. So we get 2 plus b equals 2. Got it? So now we have to isolate the b. b is 0. Pretty easy. So we come up here and we write b is 0. So now we have the 2 pieces of information we need to write the equation of the line. We have the slope, using the point slope formula, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, because I gave you 2 points. We find the slope first. Then we need the b. Now, it doesn't typically come out as a 0. So now we say, okay, what do I do? I'm going to plug, I've got the slope and I've got the y-intercept because I took the slope and picked one of these points and found the b. That's my y-intercept. So now I take it and I got to write the equation of the line. So I say y equals 2/3 x plus 0. Well, what's 2/3? 2/3 x plus 0 is 2/3. So y equals 2/3 x. Well, if I tell you to write the standard form of that equation, we would multiply both sides by 3, right? And we would get 3y equals 2x. And then we would say 2x minus 3y equals 0. So the standard form would be 2x minus 3y equals 0. If I just asked you for the equation of the line and didn't stipulate that it had to be in standard form, it would be 3y equals 2x. Okay? Right. Or you could leave it as y equals 2/3 x. Actually, you should leave it as y equals 2/3 x because that's slope-intercept form. Or if I ask you to write in standard form, you'd have to do this. Don't leave it like this. That's ugly looking. Okay, so now I want you to try it. So pause the video and do these two. This one's going to be tricky, okay? You're going to have fractions. You've got to work with fractions. It's the real world. Okay, so pause the video. Write the equation of line for each of these problems. This is one problem, the 0.31 and the -0.25, and this is the other problem, the 0.43 and the 0.12. Pause the video, do the work, just turn it back on when you're ready, and let's check it. Welcome back. You ready to see how you did? All right, check it all. First, just see if you got the right answer. On the first one, you should have gotten the equation, because I didn't tell you to write it in standard form, y equals -4/5 x plus 17/5. That one was a tricky one because you have fractions. And when you went to plug it in to solve for the y-intercept, you had to plug in a slope that was a fraction, and when you yielded it, so check this work to see if you made a mistake and find your mistake. The other one was y equals 1x plus 1 or y equals x plus 1. Again, check your work. That's x sub 2, y sub 2. It kind of got smeared. Now, take a moment, and can you put these into standard form? So pause the video, and after you put them on standard form, turn it back on, and I'll show you the answers. Welcome back. Let's see how you did. Well, I kind of did a mishmash of work just a little bit. On the first one, you multiply everything by 5 to clear the fraction. 5y equals -4x plus 17. And then we have to remember ax plus by equals c, where a has to be positive and you can't have any fractions in the equation. So it comes out as 4x plus 5y equals 17. On this one, this should have been an easy one, y equals x plus 1. You brought the y over, took the 1 over, use the reflexive property, x minus y equals -1. That's what we're going to be working on. And stop and think. If I give you the slope and a point now, just the slope and the point, you should be able to find the equation of the line. Because you already have the slope and you have a point, so you have to plug in the pieces that you know of y equals mx plus b to find out the b. Because you'll have the point, which is x and y, and you'll have the slope, and you'll have to find the b, and then you use the slope and the b to write the equation of line. You're going to be doing that in class tomorrow. So, write down 2 things you learned and 1 question you still have. We're going to be writing equations of lines given 2 points, using them in slope-intercept form, and then putting them into standard form. And then also, if I give you a point and a slope, think about how you do that problem. That one should be easier. It's 1 step less than these types of problems. Anyway, let's have a great spring and a strong finish, and I will see you tomorrow in class. Have a good night. Bye-bye.